Does the thought of getting into the ocean on your next vacation make you nervous? Well, knowing this one thing will make the difference between vacations where you're stuck on the beach and vacations where you're splashing around in the water enjoying. To show you what I'm talking about, I'll tell you the story of two different snorkeling excursions. Both of them happened in the same week. One ended in fear, and the other ended with us excited to return to the water. You see, I got married in the summer of 2022, and for our honeymoon, we went to the beautiful Hawaiian island of Maui. The island has lush green mountains surrounded by crystal blue Pacific Ocean. I knew we had to go snorkeling to see the marine life. My husband had not gone snorkeling before, and I'd gone a few times. Snorkeling excursion number 1. We checked in around 5:30 a.m. and signed waivers. Around 6 a.m. we started boarding and had breakfast on the boat. Breakfast was a really great array. They had mixed fruits, muffins, pastries, juice, soft drinks, hot coffee, tea, and water. We headed off towards Lanai Island. They started distributing snorkels and fins. At about 8 a.m., we approached the snorkeling spot, which was close to Lanai. The boat stopped in about 20 feet of water. There were wetsuits available for rent, and we rented one for my husband. The captain gave instructions on how to use a snorkel mask. He demonstrated how to use it properly. My husband and I picked up flotation belts, and my husband grabbed a couple of noodles. We were one of the last to get into the water. Now keep in mind that this was his first snorkeling experience ever. Here, we had to get into 20 feet of water. This made him extremely nervous. He wasn't sure about his flotation.
You look good,
so in
baby!
addition to the floating belt, he held onto 2 noodles. There were lifeguards in the water watching folks. We were also asked to use a buddy system. I was my husband's buddy. Being a buddy meant you stayed close together and you watched out for each other. He was fully reliant on the flotation devices to keep him up. He hadn't gotten the chance to test out these devices to know if the belt would work on its own. His full attention was on staying alive. That means there was no attention available to enjoy the fish and the other creatures in the water. And as his buddy, I was not going to leave his side, so I didn't get to enjoy the marine life either. Eventually, we had to get back on the boat. We got lunch on the way back, a couple sandwiches, salads, veggie tray, and really nice desserts. There were also adult beverages available for purchase. And on the way back, the captain gave some historical narration of the island. In fact, he played some games with us where we had to guess some of the answers from the history he had given us. This boat was really nice. They had top quality gear. There was a jumping platform for those who wanted to jump into the water. There were water slides, 2 restrooms, and a really friendly professional captain and crew. This is the kind of experience you would normally give a 5-star rating on Google. And yet, our snorkeling experience was terrible. It was my husband's first experience and it wasn't comfortable. And I knew that I couldn't let that be his experience of snorkeling, because if that was, it is unlikely he would want to do it again. I didn't want him to associate snorkeling with fear. I wanted him to experience the joy and beauty of water. So I knew I had to book another snorkeling trip. I went online to search for snorkeling for beginners. I found one called Maui, Snorkeling for Non-Swimmers in Kihei. I booked it immediately. Snorkeling excursion number 2. It's around 7 a.m. We met with a group at Wailea Beach to check in. They provided a snorkeling mask, fins, and life jacket, and they gave us instruction on how to use a snorkel and how to don the life jacket properly. After the instruction, we moved from the beach to the shallow part of the water to practice with the equipment. Here, we got to play with our buoyancy. We got to see how the equipment fit on us. We got to see how we floated in the equipment. We got plenty of time to get used to moving with the equipment, all in water that was shallow enough for us to stand in and get comfortable. After about 15-20 minutes of getting comfortable with the equipment, we all got on a raft, and the crew pushed and swam the raft out to where the turtles were. The crew gave us instructions on how to safely get into the water from the raft. Some of the crew members stayed on the raft to watch us, and some got in the water with us. This experience was one of the best experiences we had that week. We saw so much marine life. The turtles were beautiful, the fish were beautiful. We really enjoyed ourselves. My husband was so comfortable, he didn't even need me much of the time. There was no fancy boat, there were no meals, but this snorkeling experience was 100. So what was the difference between Excursion 1 and Excursion 2? They are both snorkeling excursions. They were both in Maui in the Pacific Ocean, and they both occurred in the same week. Yet one ended in fear and the other ended with joy and pleasure. Why? The difference between the two of them is what I capture in myFFF or my triple F rating. My triple F rating captures how enjoyable the experience would be for a beginner or for someone who's afraid in water. My triple F rating is based on how well the experience addresses the 5 fears questions. Each letter in fears corresponds to a question. Question 1, F, is for function. Was the provided equipment fit for purpose and working properly? For the excursion number 2, the answer is yes, so that's 1 point. Question 2, E, for explain. Did the crew explain what you were going to do and how to use the equipment? For excursion number 2, yes, that's another point. Question number 3, A is for acquaint. Did you get to acquaint yourself and practice with the equipment in a safe and comfortable place? Yes, we had the opportunity to test out the equipment in shallow beach water where we could stand, so that's 1 point. Question number 4, R is for rescue. Was there a guide or lifeguard close by and attentive at all times to ensure your safety? Yes, that's another point. 4 points total. And question number 5, S is for serenity. Did you feel serene, comfortable, and enjoy yourself during the activity? Absolutely yes. And there is another point. For a total of 5 points out of 5 questions as of Thursday, June 9th, 2022. So here's how the score works. If the experience has a score of 4.5 or higher, then it is a very beginner-friendly experience. If it has a score of 4, it is beginner-friendly. If it has a score of 3.5, then it is somewhat beginner-friendly. And if it has a total score of 3 or less, then it is not beginner-friendly. So what is my triple F rating for excursion 1? Question 1, F for function. Was the provided equipment fit for purpose and working properly? Yes, so that's 1 point. Question 2, E for explain. Did the crew explain what you were going to do and how to use the equipment? Yes, so that's another point for a total of 2 so far. Question 3, A for acquaint. Did you get to practice with the equipment in a safe and comfortable place? No, we did not get the opportunity to practice with the equipment in a safe and comfortable place before we got into 20 feet of water. Question 4, R is for rescue. Was there a guide or lifeguard close by and attentive at all times to ensure your safety? Yes, for a total of 3 points so far. Question 5. S is for serenity. Did you feel serene, comfortable, and enjoy yourself during the activity? No, we did not. Because we didn't get a chance to get acquainted with the equipment and get comfortable before getting in 20 feet of water, all attention was spent on staying alive, and there was no attention available to enjoy the snorkeling experience and the marine features. Therefore, my FFF rating for excursion number 1 is 3 out of 5 questions, which means it is not beginner friendly. As of Friday, June 3rd, 2022, you see, excursion 1 had great amenities and a really friendly and professional crew. This is the kind of experience you would normally give a 5-star rating on Google. But someone who is afraid or a beginner would likely not enjoy the experience. I make this distinction so that you know that the normal rating system that you find on Google, on TripAdvisor, on Yelp, or any normal rating does not really capture whether this would be an experience that would be comfortable for someone who is a beginner or who may be afraid of deep water. You will observe that for each of my FFF ratings, we include a date. This is because we're telling you about the beginner friendliness as of that date. It is possible for experiences to change over time. So an experience that may not have been beginner friendly may choose to make its experience more beginner friendly over time. So my FFF rating may change over time. The opposite might be true. An experience that is very beginner friendly may change its offerings over time and become less beginner friendly. So it is important to know the date on which my FFF rating is done so that we know whether it's close enough to the date we want to go. While we all look forward to going on vacation, for some of us, our palms get sweaty and we get nervous when people tell us about the water activities. We do not want this period of rest to turn into a fearful experience that could end in death. Knowing which experiences are safe and beginner friendly could make the difference between enjoying ourselves around water and not. If you go on a water excursion during your holiday, please do a myFFF rating on that experience and hashtag myFFF rating. Help guide others on what they can enjoy on their journeys away from fear. And before your next holiday, check to see if there is a myFFF rating before you go. Slowly, we can create an environment where excursion operators do what is necessary to properly cater to beginners and to those who may be afraid of water. And all people everywhere, regardless of if they're a beginner or if they may be afraid, can enjoy the beauty and bask in the joy of being in the water. I know you may not feel fearless now, but hang with me and we'll get there together.